Right?
Great. Can we see the screen? Are we good? Good morning, everyone. There's still a few folks coming in, so I'm just letting them drop in. Welcome back to day 3. Oops, hold on. Like getting all the technology set up takes a moment. Great. Wonderful. Oh, I need to be in this mode, don't I? Okay, welcome back, day 3. We're so excited you're here. We have some really exciting things in store for you. I hope you enjoyed the workshops yesterday. I hope you enjoyed working and collaborating together and getting creative together and asking questions together. We're going to do a lot more of that. Once again, we have fantastic partners. They're noted here. You've gotten to meet all of them, I think, by this point, and you will continue to dive deeper with us. No otter jokes intended. Let's see, these are the digital suite or the digital platforms that we're using. I think we've been introduced to almost all of them by now. If not, you will be soon. And then once again, we have the norms up. Does anybody, Eileen or anyone from MCOE want to say anything additional about the norms, or is there any additional feedback, or we just want to take a look at them and continue to respond to them?
Yeah,
Great.
I think that people can put
perfect.
in chat if there's anything that's not working, but it was awesome because yesterday people were really engaged in them, and we had a couple of comments, and people are still continuing to think what will work in their classrooms and how they might tweak them. So if you have ideas, put them in chat because people are learning from each other. So thanks, Kristen.
Wonderful. Thanks, Eileen, for that. This is our schedule. This is my mission control board that I use even when I need to figure out what Zoom link I need to be on or where I need to go or what should be happening. This is the slide you can refer to. And hopefully, has somebody put the link to the slides in the chat? I haven't been following the chat.
Yes, we will put the link to the slides in the chat.
Great, thank you. Just to make sure, let me pull up my chat so I can see it. Great. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Kelsey. Moving on. Great. So once again, we're always centering on a few key questions, essential questions, and learning targets. The 3 today that we're really thinking about is how long am I given to think and to make sense of things? What happens when I get stuck? Am I invited to explain things or just give answers? Today, that directly connects to today's social emotional learning target, which is self-management, which Kelsey and I will be specifically exploring through arts learning strategies. So I'm going to dive right in so we have lots of time. But before we do that, we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up. Hopefully during yesterday's break, you explored the mindfulness moment with Stephanie Bastos, one of our youth and arts mentor artists. She has been strategically walking us through the different phases of the brain dance. By the time we get to the end of the week, you will have done all of the 8 patterns of the brain dance. The brain dance is the developmental progression of movement. So when a baby is born, the first thing a baby does is take a big breath and then starts to feel that through the sense of touch and then starts to reach out into the world. If you did the mindfulness moment, you have now done the first 4 phases of the brain dance. So we're going to start with those today, and we're going to build on them through as we move through Friday. So if you can just move your chair back, you're welcome to turn your camera off for this moment if you'd like. You can also leave it on. Make sure you can really, we're going to be playing with this a lot today, this sense of space and balance in your own little, in your Brady Bunch box. But for our warm up today, just make sure you can sit up nice and tall. You can really feel your sits bones under you. You can rock back and forth to find those, or forward and back, and really find your kinesphere, your bubble, your space. Pull our shoulders up, push them back, and drop them down so we can really elongate our spine. And with that, you can close your eyes if you'd like, and we're going to take a couple deep breaths together. Big breath in. And exhale. One more, and really deepen the breath this time. Try to send that breath down to your toes. Big breath in. Exhale. With this third breath, take a hand to your abdomen and or your chest and feel your core inflate like a balloon as you put air into your body. Big breath in. Hold it at the top. Exhale. Very nice. One thing I miss through virtual teaching is hearing you breathe. So I hope we can all imagine each other breathing in the room together at the same time. Let's get our hands moving. We're going to warm our hands up. We're going to use the sense of touch to wake our body up. So important. Getting some warmth going. Awesome. Thank you. Great. And let's start with brush. So as if you have sand on you, we had a lot of beach metaphors, a lot of water metaphors. Let's get all of that sand off. You're going to use the sense of touch, brushing all the way down. You can go all the way to your lower body if you'd like, if you can, and if you're able. Don't forget the backs of your legs or the back of your core. Brushing sand. Now, let's pretend that sand turns into mud. It's sticky mud, so now you have to have heavy weight as you push all of that mud and that sticky sand, wet sand off. Really push. So use the sense of push into your body. A little bit of massage. All right, we're going to change it up. Don't forget the core. Sometimes we skip around hips and abs. Really push into that as well. Great. One more. We're going to take pats. So patting, 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 patting all the way up and down. Patting onto the neck, onto the head. Good. Awesome. And then just shake it out a little bit. Great. The next part of our brain dance is core distal. Core is everything that's in the center of you. So when I'm working with students, I like to reference the world, the center of the world, or the center of an apple. You have a center of your body. You're going to pull everything into your core, which is kind of nice to do. Here, I'm going to move this down into your core, into a chair. It's nice and easy. Pull everything in like a tiny little organism. And then you're going to stretch out, huge stretch, like the first stretch of the morning, legs to stretching all the way out, distal limbs into the world. Ooh. All the way. I'm kicking things. Good. And we're going to do that one more time. Pull it all the way in, all the way in. Really feeling that head-tail connection as well. And we're going to stretch out one more time. And this time, if you'd like to lay back on your chair, if you have that back, you can stretch out like a big starfish, huge stretch like in the morning. Good job. And coming back into your body. Good. You can come back towards the stream. Last part, you heard me just mention it, our head-tail connection. So between our head and our tail, we have our spine and our vertebrae protecting it. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, and we're just going to experience the movement of our spine. So we're going to start nice and easy. Take one hand actually to your head and one hand behind you to your tailbone. Feel that connection between them, and you're going to pull them forward toward each other as if you're making a C with your spine. And don't push, but just feel that C curling up and then straighten up from there. You can go nice and slow, huge straighten up. Good. Can you make that C backwards? So you're going to stretch the head and the neck and your tailbone backwards and back up. Now let's stretch them to the side. Head and hip are trying to meet each other, and to the other side. Breathing, don't forget to breathe. And back up. You can drop the hands, and in that, just start to wiggle that spine. So the spine moves in a sequential order because of how the vertebrae fit together. So we talked a lot about waves and water. Try to feel that in your body right now. So you can feel moving that spine all around through a sequential pattern. And really get in. I like to try to get into between my shoulder blades, which is where pretty static, especially if we're doing a lot of computer work. So getting into the spine. Good. And you can give it a little wiggle. Good. Great. And shaking it out. So those are the first 4 patterns of our brain dance. We'll explore them a little bit more. And as we get further into the week, I'd like to actually integrate some of the curricular content we've been doing, exploring our river otters. So we'll do that. The brain dance is a great warm up and a great way to introduce some vocabulary as well. So more soon. Great. So back to our social emotional arts learning experience. We've already introduced and talked about self-awareness and social awareness, or at least touched on them. Today, we're talking about self-management. We have been referencing Castle's definition of self-management, which is here for you in the slide deck. We're really talking about the ability to regulate emotions, thoughts, behaviors, controlling impulses, and motivating oneself. It's the ability to set and work toward personal and academic goals. So that's pretty loaded. There's a lot to unpack in there. And, you know, we have about 20 minutes to do it. So we're going to explore this through some foundational concepts. And these foundational concepts are actually going to lead into the work that you're going to be doing with Jessica a little bit later. So to do this, to open up our day, we're going to actually talk about balance, finding balance. So if we can talk about what does it mean to feel balanced and out of balance? And what do I need to feel supported? So for this, you're going to need your seat or your space. We're going to be talking about our internal and external balance. And then we're going to be talking about our foundation. What do we need as learners, as teachers, as humans to feel balanced? And what do I do when I feel out of balance, when I feel stuck? If you remember one of the very first questions we had at the beginning of today, one of our essential questions, what do I do when I feel stuck? So from a Eurocentric perspective of dance, or ballet, if you will, I like to think or talk about, there's this very foundational concept called the plie principle, right? So this image on the left of your screen is a person doing one of the very first things you learn in ballet. First position, this idea of plie, to bend, right? I love this drawing. It's so nice and straight. But what I think about, or when you're teaching in this Eurocentric lens, you teach a lot about the opposing forces. That to actually get deeper in your plie, you have to think up, which is the opposite of what you would think. So often when we teach plie, it's just like go down. Actually, your plie will get deeper if you elongate your spine and think about the energy rising through the top of your head. Similarly, you can see the arrows on the legs as well as the knees go out, thinking about the energy driving through the heels down through the floor. I love this other image of this dancer from Alvin Ailey going off balance, but showing so clearly the opposing forces between legs and arms and holding that body in space. This is a capoeira dancer. I think a lot about balance and power having a relationship together. The more balanced I feel, or the more I play with balance and can control my balance when I get off or I'm in off balance or out of balance and can pull myself back, the more powerful or empowered I feel. So as Kelsey and I were thinking about and exploring this idea about self-management, we had a lot of conversations about internal and external forces just within the perspective of learning, about internal structures, my internal motivations, and external systems, and what kind of empowerment do I have as a student between those two things to manage my own learning, to manage my own motivation, to manage myself. What do I need to feel supported? And so it was interesting as we talked about balance and the relationship between self-management within the lens of a classroom, this really symbiotic relationship. Oh, good, I'm glad. She thought of the Mobius loop when I saw this. Great, I'm so glad. Oh, okay, great. So, so with this, we're actually gonna do a physical exploration of balance right now. So you're gonna need that space around you again. I'm actually going to stop share for a moment. And I'm going to bring some music back in just a second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to encourage you to pull everybody up in gallery view. And you certainly can choose to have your camera on or off for this, totally up for you. But I love to be able to see everybody moving together. It really gives a sense of community. If you're willing or interested in having your camera off, or on, excuse me. Let me just, I'm going to pull my music up. Give me 1 moment. Thank you for bearing with me. Great, okay. Share. Tomorrow we're gonna talk a little bit about sharing music, so you'll have an opportunity actually to experiment with sharing music in duets as well. So soon we'll get to do that. All right, so we're gonna start first, we're gonna do 3 levels of balance. We're gonna start again sitting, so make sure you have some space around you. We're gonna find those sits bones. I think I will pull this on now. Is this the song I want? Great. Can you hear that? Yes? All right, great. You're gonna rock. Can you hear me? Yes? 2 thumbs up if you can. Oh, good. Yes, you can hear me. You're rocking. Find those sits bones. You're gonna sit up nice and tall. Pretend those sits bones are your feet. And I just want you to feel, this is called proprioception. What do you need to hold your body in space? What muscles are working to hold you up? And I want you to think about those opposing forces. As you push down into your chair, I want you to push up or rise up through your spine as if you have energy or a string holding you out the top of your head. Very good. And right from there, rock from one side to the other. But I'd like you to go, keep pushing on one side. Pull one sit bone all the way off the seat. How far do you go until you feel like you're gonna fall over? And then what has to pull you back? Very good. Try the other side. Really go, really go. What are your feet doing during this? And then come on back. Good job. Try that one more time and really feel your feet in the ground and how your feet are stabilizing you as well. We're not only dancing from the waist up, you've been dancing with your legs too. Pick a side, try to go off balance. What happens? How far can you go before you fall out of your chair? What is working? What muscles are working? Good. Nice job. All right, we're going to actually stand up behind the chair, but I want to invite you that if you are more comfortable seated or want to stay seated, you are welcome to do so. My colleague Kelsey is going to stay seated to model that, so feel free to follow her. We're going to get up and get behind the chair. So we're going to use the chair as a mode to balance with. Great. So can you see? Yeah, great. There we go. I'm going to do this. Great. All right, wonderful. Sorry, I'm toggling back and forth. Okay, so I kicked my shoes off as well. So you're welcome to kick your shoes off so that I can really feel my feet on the ground. From here, I'm gonna take my fingertips and I'm putting them right on my chair. Actually, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Okay, great. I'm gonna do what we call a releve, which means to rise. Again, I'm using the Eurocentric lens of ballet at the moment, but we're gonna just talk about body in a moment. And I'm gonna go, using the chair, I'm gonna go up on my toes and just feel my body and what I need to feel balanced. I'm gonna play with taking my hands off a little bit, and if I need to come back, I'm gonna come back to the chair. So you can play with that. How far can you go before, and then what is your tendency? Are you leaning one side or the other? Good, and coming back down. Very good. Shake that out. We're gonna do that one more time. Really feel your feet and try to get a sense of what the rest of your body is doing. Are you clenching your toes? Are you feeling your core? Are you clenching your shoulders? Let's explore that. Here we go. One more time. Balancing, rising up, releve or rise. And you can take those hands off if you'd like. And keep rising. I mean, if you can keep rising, keep rising. How far is too far? Can you knock yourself off balance and then pull yourself back? Good, coming back down. Very nice. Great, let me just try, we'll pull that music back one more time. Great, we're gonna, from there, stay behind the chair.
I'm ready, come on back.
If you're not on mute, can you be on mute, please? Oh, perfect, thanks, Julie. From there, keeping the feet nice and flat on the ground, we're gonna try that swaying again. So can we sway to one side, picking one leg off the ground, but I'm using the chair. I'm picking my leg up, if you can see it right there. And how far can I go until I fall over? Let yourself go off balance, and then where do you go to? Very good. Try the other side. Lifting one leg up. I'm using the chair right now. I might even take one arm off and reach. And then where do you fall to? Very good. If you feel comfortable, you can move that chair out of the way. We're going to explore balance just with our space. Now, very good. Good. Awesome. You can also keep the chair in front of you. You can also stay seated like my friend Kelsey. Good. Keeping some nice big space around you. Find those feet on the ground one more time. And this time we're going to explore balancing on one leg. So we're taking it a little bit further. Again, really trying to have that sense of proprioception. What's happening inside my body? What do I need to feel balanced? And what happens when I go off of balance? Finding balance, feeling those feet. Lean to one side, right or left, totally up to you. You're gonna pull one leg just straight up, trying to increase at the hip. How long, how high can you go? Very good, and back down. Can bend those knees. Try the other side. This time you can engage your arms too. Maybe you could reach one hand, or I'm sorry, one leg. How high can you go? Good. What happens? What do I need to feel stable in that moment? Very good. This time we're going to try counterbalance. So like we did with the chair, leaning to one side, pulling one leg up, but you're going to take the arms to the opposite side now. So you're going to get pulled like you have two rubber bands, one on your leg and one on the arm. Finding balance, picking up, reaching, pulling, one arm, one leg. Oh, how far do you go? And what happens when you fall? Other side, on your own timing. How far can you go? What happens to your feet? Good. Nice job. One more time. So this time you can pick. You can just bring the leg up if you'd like that, and you'd like the feeling of stability. Pulling on or off balance. You could even go forward or back. Totally up to you. Ready? Last time. Feeling on or off balance. Really stretch. Good. Nice job. Give yourself some applause. Give yourself some ASL applause. Give yourself a little hug or a rub. Nice job. Put your chair back. Come on back. Good job. I'll let we have just watching everybody, making sure we get everybody back. Awesome. Thank you for playing with me. That was so awesome. So the idea is exploring the internal and external forces that we needed to feel balanced and what happened when I got off balance. Externally, you needed the space around you. You needed the chair, right? We needed to scaffold our learning. So we started seated. For you to take risks and go on and off balance standing, we took a very pedestrian approach into it from sitting, right? And so we had to open the door for you, and we did that together. We're going to talk a little bit more about this with the activity that Kelsey is going to do, and then we have some deeper reflection questions for you that we'll do at the end of that activity. But I want to honestly and sincerely thank you for participating. Exploring concepts kinesthetically can be really nerve-wracking, especially for adults. And so I'm so thankful and grateful that you all dove in and tried that. So thank you so much. Kelsey. Oh, let me get back to the slide for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. So like yesterday, we'll be, as Kristen said, exploring similar concepts, but from a visual arts perspective. And so I wanted to start by sort of framing the activity that we're doing as constructing knowledge with digital collage. And I have here, it says problem posing for critical consciousness, or thinking about self-management from the outside in. So we talked a little bit about in the beginning and also this morning how self-management is kind of a loaded topic, right? We have certain behaviors, socially normative behaviors that we expect from our students for optimal learning circumstances. And we also know that students learn in a variety of different ways, and success looks different for a lot of different students. And so when we're thinking about self-management, we also want to encapsulate not only the internal processes that students go through for managing their own behavior and thinking critically about their own behavior, but also being cognizant and essentially opening up the opportunity for our students to think about the external systems that also impact their behaviors and what their opportunities look like. And so, can you go back really quickly, Kristen? Sorry. So I will just call out that problem posing is a concept that Paulo Freire mentions in his text, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. If you have not gotten the opportunity to look at and or read this text, I definitely recommend it, you know, and all that free time that you guys have. But just so you know, that is where that concept's coming from. And critical consciousness is really the practice of, again, inspiring and facilitating student opportunity that think about external systems and their impacts. Okay, next slide, thank you. So what I would like to do with everybody, this is a lot of text on the slide, so I would encourage everyone to open up the Google Slides that are linked in the chat, just so you have this for yourself. And so, sorry, yeah, so what we're gonna do is start from a personal story. The first day we were all together, many of us took the opportunity to create personal narratives around COVID-19. There's also a plethora of these stories available from a variety of different people across the country and the world, highlighting important experiences they have had from the COVID-19 experience. And so this story is from Roger Rosen, who's 47, he's from South Orange, New Jersey. And I would like everyone to take the opportunity to read this. I'm gonna read it out loud just so that we can go through it together, but please follow along as well through the text. He says, I work in a grocery store. I am not a hero. Unlike doctors and nurses who know that they're on the front lines of life when they begin their professional journey, my goal in getting my job was never to be on the front lines of anything. In fact, getting a job in a grocery store felt like the best way to avoid responsibility. The job allowed me to dedicate the rest of my time to my passions. I didn't sign up to be an essential service. It didn't occur to me that I'd feel lucky to even have a job when the entire service industry had been decimated. I didn't sign up to be scared all day, wondering if you were the one who's going to get me sick. Not once did I think I'd have to come home and strip naked at the door, throw my clothes in the hamper or washing machine and shower. It didn't occur to me that I'd have to stay away from my husband in order to keep him safe as possible. Really, I just needed a job. Could we go to the next slide, please? 3 weeks ago, I certainly wasn't a hero. People snapped their fingers at me while on their phones to get my attention, spoke over me while I answered their questions, snatched products out of my hand after I fetched it from them from the back room. 3 weeks ago, I was largely dismissed. My job was not respected, and therefore I was frequently not respected. Now suddenly my coworkers and I are heroes in the memes and the thanks going around. Suddenly people stop what they're doing to make sure I'm keeping myself safe and to say quite simply and earnestly, thank you. Those moments are wonderful. And yet my coworkers and I are doing the same thing we've always done. The difference is not us, it is you. And if there's anything good to come from this nightmare that's ripping through the world, perhaps it's not that we service workers are worthwhile and valuable now, but that we always have been. So I pulled this story specifically for this group to look at. And what I would like to do is we are going to create a digital collage around our thoughts and feelings and responses to this text. So again, if you can pull up the slides on your own computer, that would be the most helpful. And I'm going to share a link with you. Kristen, you can go to the next slide. So when you pull up the slides in your personal computer or device, if you click on the Google Docs link, it'll take you to Google Slides. And I would like you guys to find a blank slide and create a really quick digital collage around your response to this story, your personal response. So when I ask you to give a personal response, I'm thinking specifically about what feelings did the story inspire, what did it make you think about, and specifically where are points of access for you that you can find something that made you feel something or that that has some kind of impact on your daily life. So when you click on the link, you will see that, hold on, I'm gonna send the link to Kristen so she can also pull this up here. When you click on the link, you'll see the first slide has instructions on it, so you can go ahead and follow those instructions. And then you'll see the second slide has my starting example. And so please access that now. I'm gonna give you guys about 10 minutes to do this. And just start as simple as possible. And we're encouraging you to use online image searching. So I can tell you a little bit about how I did mine. The first thing that I thought about was, I thought that the last statement that he made was really powerful about how, you know, it's not that they're important now, it's that they always have been. So I was thinking about, so I started looking up images about gratitude, and I started looking up images about the service industry today. And I found this image of the gentleman in the mask with the forced smile, which I thought was really interesting. So just take about 10 minutes and populate your slide. Is there a question? Somebody unmute to ask something? Okay, can we get a quick signal, just a thumbs up if you are on board with everything, and then like a wiggly kind of hand if you're still unsure what we're doing. Okay. All right, so go ahead and take 10 minutes to create your digital collage. Yes, Sally, thank you for asking. So you put it directly, you choose an empty slide and you put your images directly onto that slide. And you'll notice too that I have like some arrows and things that are pointing. I typed some stuff in. So go ahead and take this opportunity also to kind of explore and see, if you haven't used Google Slides before or very frequently, to kind of play around with it and see what you can do. Kristen, could we put some music on again? And if you guys have any questions, feel free to add them into the chat or unmute and pop it in, because I'm sure you're not the only one.
Yeah, sorry, I was putting the link up for you, or trying to.
Thank you.
There you go. You're welcome. There, the digital collage slideshow is also linked in the chat at the moment.
Oh yeah, sorry, I put it in the private chat. Just noticed that.
No, it's okay. And you said you want music. Yes, I'm happy to do that. 1 second.
I'll also add, if you work better with quiet, please feel free to mute the video, or just, you know, turn off your sound for right now, and we'll give a signal before we reconvene. Okay, go ahead and take about 1.5 minutes to finish. All right, just 30 more seconds and then we'll wrap up. All right. All right, thanks for doing that, guys. I'm watching it populate as it works, as you work on it. It's really amazing to see. So Kristen, would you please share the screen one more time? And we will come back to look at everybody's too. But what we're gonna do first is do a quick think, pair, share. So at the end of this activity, really quickly, I'll go over kind of the steps of what, how I have framed a protocol for problem posing. And as of right now, we're at the collaborative constructing knowledge point. So what I would like you guys to do, Eileen is gonna put you in groups of 2. And I'd like you just to present to your partner your collage and share what you think is important about it. And feel free to engage in dialogue around each other's works. And I think if anything in terms of external systems came up for you as you were reading the story or creating your collage, please feel free also to start addressing that in your think, pair, share. So I'll put all of that into the chat as Eileen gets everybody ready to go to their breakout rooms. Thank you, Eileen. So we're just gonna share our collage with our partner. Oops, breakout room. We'll send a broadcast.
Can you please put someone in breakout room 9? Question mark. Oops, sorry, I'm on audio.
I do have somebody in 9.
I know.
They haven't joined yet. Okay, I'll join 9.
Yeah, because I can't join. I'm driving.
Okay. Oh wait, and Flora's in 10, and she's alone. So I'm gonna wait. Do you want somebody to join you?
No, I don't. I'm not going to go to the breakout room because I don't have anything to share. Because,
I got it. Okay.
And I can't look at their collage anyway. I'm driving.
Okay, then I'll join it.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, why don't you start?
Flora, I'll join Flora.
Hey, Eileen, this is Don.
Yes?
And my internet is being glitchy.
Okay.
So you're going to have to send somebody else to breakout room 4.
Okay, yeah, I've got a few people that are alone. Kristen, can you join breakout room 11 to be with Tracy?
Absolutely.
You want to share your screen?
And then I'm gonna join, oh, shoot. Who else is alone? Flora's alone in room 10, so I can join Flora.
Right, okay, great.
And Don, what room are you supposed to be in?
I was wondering if that was.
I'm supposed to be in 4, but my internet is unstable here.
Okay, let me see who's in 4 then. Anybody? Oh, Cindy's all alone in 4. Okay, I'm gonna join Cindy and tell her to come back. Okay.
Hi, Dawn.
Okay, so go ahead, since you guys are in the main room, go ahead, Cindy, share your screen with Dawn. I'm gonna go pick up one more person that didn't have anyone to share with. So you go ahead, share your screen and show us what you've got, my friend.
Okay. I think.
Well, because it's grounding us. It's bringing us back to the ground and saying, we're all important.
I know I have it in there. Oh, wait. Just a
And it's like
second.
our kids, our students.
Sorry, Don. Having trouble getting the right thing to share.
Okay, I guess everybody else has a partner or came back. So that's great. And,
Okay.
oh, that's beautiful.
Well, I stole it from the internet. I'd like to say I
Good.
took that picture myself.
What were you thinking, my friend, when you made that? That's really pretty.
Well, the ending to that personal story, just I started to feel so emotional when I was hearing Roger say people would, snap their fingers while they're on their phone and they were rude. And then at the end, people were being grateful and thankful, and that made me all teary. So that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So who's next? Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Lisa and I were in our breakout room, but we came back because she needed to run. So she and I already did sharing, so I'm happy to just listen to whoever else wants
Oh,
to
good.
share.
Well, Cindy showed a beautiful picture.
Slide
And
10 was me, that's all.
okay, and then Flora, do you want to share yours?
Sure. Let me screen share, find it. So this is mine.
Ooh,
Oh, I like it.
Thank you.
Whoops.
wow. What is most important?
I love that you used the Princess Bride kid.
The what?
Oh,
That was
yes.
funny.
That's awesome.
Kind of my mood through all of this, so. I've seen it a few times and it's made me really
The
happy.
Pit of Despair.
Oh,
This is so creative.
Thank you. This mask thing that I was this wasn't the exact picture that I was looking for. I've been seeing one where it's kind of talking back at people who are talking about their constitutional right not to wear masks.
yeah.
Businesses are talking back and being like, well, we don't have to serve you.
Right.
That's kind of what I was looking for, but I couldn't find it. And this one just made me laugh.
I have one that in mind that's the new face of tyranny, and it's the mask. So it's kind of along that line.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I didn't pay attention. How long did she say to keep people in the breakout rooms?
I missed how long.
Uh-oh. Should I bring them back?
No idea.
Maybe if we were just in pairs, it might be time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm going.
I'm gonna stop sharing.
You can also
People are
broadcast the
coming.
message if they're finished sharing to come back. You can in your chat, you can send a broadcast message to all the chat rooms. It says, if you're finished, come on back.
Anybody else want to share their screen and show? Shauna, did you get to share yours?
No, my computer crashed for some reason.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I felt really bad because I was with another person and I just abandoned her mysteriously.
How did you get
there
back
she
on?
is. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Whitney.
Oh, it's fine.
My
Did you get to
computer
share,
crashed.
Whitney? Whitney, show
we
us
did
yours.
it,
Well,
and
no,
we
put it
lost
up. Put it up.
One of
We'll
us
look at
lost
it.
connection right after we got put in a room.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Can
I got
we
to
see
look through
yours?
everyone else's. They were beautiful.
Yeah, there were a lot of really beautiful ones. I had fun doing it.
Oh,
Thumbs up if you had fun doing it.
Yes. Thanks for bringing us back, Eileen.
Hey, I did it, friends. Just call me Miss Tech.
So as people are hopping back on, we have comment. Awesome. As people are hopping back on, you're welcome to add your your feelings about that activity into the chat. And we'll pull a couple up as we go. I just want to spend the next minute kind of breaking down, thanks Willow. Yeah, using it in your classroom. What subject matter do you think you'd use it for? Do you think you'd stick with COVID or pull in something else? Very emotional. It was interesting to hear that my partner and I had similar ideas. Willow says she wants to use it with staff when they return. Nice. Yeah, so this is, hopefully the Google Slides activity was easy, easy enough. And there are ways to adapt this project for littles as well as for older students. This is kind of like a really quick rundown of that. Amy says, Stacy, loved your global view of everything that's happening in the world. Catherine, that was fun. I also see myself using this in my classroom. I've been making notes. I think it could be a great quick reader's response. Yeah. Carrie says, what platform would you try with littles? I would pose that to the group, actually. So we've used a couple on here. We've used Jamboard and Google Slides. Are there other platforms that people have used that they appreciate for our younger grade levels?
Seesaw might work, yeah, because they can just make their own. It's very similar.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to see it all populating, but they could make their own for different subject matters or how they're feeling.
Excellent. That's a great idea, Sally. Thank you. Everyone has a story, Deb says. Thanks, Deb was my partner. We got some good conversation. And Cindy says she wants to use it with students for SEL and writing. That's excellent. Yeah. So keep populating. I really love your responses and I appreciate you guys experimenting with me. This is actually the first time I've done it this way before. Karen loves the Google Slide Collage. Awesome. And so I'm just going to go over really quickly so we have time for a reflection, what kind of my breakdown, my idea around a breakdown was for that process based on this idea of posing problems and problem posing. So the first step is to describe the content. And when we choose content, thinking really critically, curating our content as an access point for students to enter into the conversation based on their own concerns and experiences. So you want to find something that will have an impact on their daily life, that causes investment right from the get-go. It's what you do when you're doing advocacy with students. And then, oops, sorry about that. And then number 2 is define the problem. So you have students think critically about what's going on and to look at the overarching systems, again, that are perhaps impacting this story, as well as the day-to-day problems that they have experienced themselves, perhaps. Then number 3 is personalize the problem. So internalize and connect the problem. And you can facilitate this, again, by asking people what it makes them think or feel, or how does it relate to their everyday lives. And then discuss the problem is, we did all of this very quickly, but we did it in our think, pair, share. So normally you do this in a facilitated group with the teacher, because then you can bring in a lot of the hard facts about the social and economic and additional systemic interactions involved in the story. It's really important during this step that we don't bring in our personal feelings about it, just kind of lay out some resources for the students, and we can always come back into the conversation later once they've had some time to ideate around it and learn more about it. And then finally, discuss alternatives to the problems. So having students consider solutions, we didn't get to this part, but having students consider possible solutions and outcomes for these posed solutions. So all about critical engagement. Thank you guys so much for participating. And then Kristen, would you like to do the reflection?
Sure. So intentionally, we wanted to start with this idea of internal and external balance, and what that feels like to feel grounded, to feel centered, to feel on your feet or on your seat, right? And then what that feels like when you're knocked off of balance, right? And I think very much in the context of COVID, we can all relate to that, of how it felt to be status quo, moving forward, knowing what is expected of us on a daily basis, and then everything is in upheaval. And so in the zooming out and thinking about SEL and the specific focus on self-management, that can have thinking about our foundation and finding balance and what we need to move forward and what we need to do to get back to balance and get unstuck is what we wanted to explore with you today through a few arts learning strategies. So we pose these questions. What do I need to feel present in the moment? How did it feel to not know the answer? How did I respond to not knowing the answer? How did it feel to be out of balance or off balance, and what happens when I get stuck? What does the interplay of internal external balance have to do with my teaching practice in Zoomlandia? Great. So I would love for you to think about that. We'll invite you to reflect in your digital notebook. We also would invite you to add a few things to the chat about both activities, about the interplay of those activities, about thinking about what students need internally, and then the systems and the circumstances around them, as well as yourself. So go ahead, let's take a few moments to reflect. Let's take 2 minutes to reflect, and you can add a few things to the chat, and you can add a few things to your digital notebook or your analog notebook if you'd like.
I'm also typing the questions into the chat if you want to be able to copy and paste them directly into something.
Thank you. And I'll give you a little bit of music too. Oops. Actually, I don't know if I'm sharing my sound. Sandra brought up some great questions in the chat about this idea of balance, but then specifically the problem posing that Kelsey gave to us. Really thoughtful questions. Oh, I love that. Adam notes about that the expectation was to feel out of balance for a moment, and that provided some safe guardrails to allow that feeling. I really appreciate that insight. Great.
Sandra mentions internal and external balance impact on Zoomlandia. If our students are out of balance, if we are out of balance, how can we all work together to bring a state of calm and balance to our online teaching?
Yep. We're thinking a lot about that too. And yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I would encourage people who think they wanna take a stab at answering some of these questions to add those to the chat too.
Yeah. Yes, and I'll add, as a personal note, I know there are a lot of parents on here. I have an incoming fourth grader, and I'm thinking a lot about that from that perspective of how can I, as a parent, create a balanced, or how can I give him specifically the support and foundation he needs on a daily basis to access his learning with his teacher and be present and be ready to learn in this new world. So I'm trying to think about that on both sides. Awesome. These are great reflections. We really appreciate you guys exploring and experimenting and risk-taking with us. This is a new way to access a lot of the concepts and content, but pushing the chair out of the way and using the arts to create and ask questions, as you all know, is a great way to offer differentiated learning strategies for students that learn in different ways and access content in different ways. So Youth and Arts, we are always here to brainstorm with you, to explore with you around those ideas. And we'll keep bringing you a few more these next few mornings. So thank you so much. Oh, great. Whitney says she needs space and time to breathe, to feel present. And it's very easy to go through the day taking short panicked breaths. Boy, do I feel that. She can help herself to stay present and feeling her body. So I completely agree. Don had mentioned earlier that he feels like he needs to do this every day. And I'll tell you, dance and movement has been part of my life, basically my entire adult life. And I need to be reminded to come back to breath. And that the body is so revealing, that even in taking a breath and observing where you're holding your breath, or experiencing the balance exploration we did, and where you're holding things, can be very revealing to what you're dealing with mentally, emotionally, or otherwise. Thinking about the answer, Don. I love that. Yeah, not knowing the answer, but thinking about the answer. Oh, great. Thanks, Sandra. Yeah, Sandra says this has opened her brain this week. So many ideas in garden and science projects for her students while she was on a walk. Great processing time. And Shauna says she loves the support everybody is giving one another with technical difficulties, which will continue to happen. So I definitely feel that. Awesome. With that, I think we're going to break.
Yeah, and then I just want to remind us that we're going to be splitting up, which it's kind of sad because I think everybody's gotten really close, but there's different choices. So the TK2 will join on the link that's going to take you back to the amazing Ruben and Sagit. And then I'm so incredibly excited for you, the third and above, to meet with Dr. Jessica Bean, who's going to do some phenomenal work with ambitious science, and just take everybody's going to have an opportunity to go to where they need to go. So 2 different links when you come back, okay? All right, any questions about that or anything, just sign on to any link and then put it in chat and we'll help you find your right spot, okay? Thanks, my friends. Have a good break. Oh, yes?
Did you want folks to fill out the morning survey as well?
Oh, you know what? I was going to have people fill out the morning survey after the next break. Is that okay?
Perfect.
At the 11
yes,
o'clock time.
Absolutely. Then So sorry, everyone. Yep, just making
No,
sure.
no, it's fine. They can fill it out whenever they want. You know what? That's cool. Leave it there. People can fill it out now or later.
Okay, okay.
I love it. Choices.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks, my friend. We'll tune
Thanks,
back in
Thank
at
you,
10
everybody.
o'clock. Bye.